Good morning. It is 10:52 a.m. on Sunday, July 5th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Boy, I tell you, sometimes just getting up at 10:52 a.m. So yesterday was Independence Day and they had fireworks and everything, of which Luna is not a fan. We were where I am right now. We couldn't see the fireworks from my building, but we could hear them. And Luna's not a fan. It's kind of like with thunder. We were actually out for a walk before the real show started, and there was a couple of people, somewhere in the distance, like we couldn't even see them, but shooting off little fireworks of their own, just so we could hear the sounds. And Luna was just fine walking along outside, and then as soon as she heard one of those, she just kind of stops, looks up at me, and then turns to go back inside. She doesn't act scared, except that she's just very insistent that, okay, nope, 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 going back inside now. Yeah, so she was kind of nervous last night at the sound of the fireworks. But she's fine now. I kept her safe. I spent a good chunk of yesterday finishing the video game The Witcher, which is a series of role-playing games. The Witcher 3 is the one that just came out. But I decided to, instead of buying an expensive brand new game, I would replay replay. I had started the original game, which I had bought on Steam quite a while ago, and then just never got very far in it because I was distracted from it for one reason or another. But I've been trying to play through it recently, and last night I finished it, and it's very good. It's an older game from 2007. There's few things that are kind of janky by today's standards. Weird character animation. There's some bits of the story that are a little bit what's the word? It kind of like it'll jump, and I'll occasionally feel like I must have missed a small cutscene or something like that, but I don't think I did. I think it's just written that way. Where all of a sudden a character will be talking about something as though I'm supposed to know about it already, but I'm hearing about it for the first time. In any case, though, the combat was actually pretty fun. It's not super challenging in terms of the execution. It's not, but it's kind of timing your clicks based on completing combos. But you also have to use all sorts of potions and different sword techniques. And you have to constantly change up your tactics depending on what you're fighting. And that's pretty satisfying. And the story is good, too. It's not really an open world compared to other games these days, but you can kind of roam all over and do quests in whatever order you like. And there's various choices that you make that affect the story, but it's not as simple as a lot of games, and this is something that I think video games are starting to move away from because it got, sort of became a trope, the idea that you're making these, quote, moral decisions, but it's always like, are you going to be the good, virtuous hero who saves the kittens from drowning? Or are you going to be the evil, merciless hero who punches out a grandmother and then kicks a dog into a volcano? In this one, it's really much more ambiguous. It's like there's lots of times where it'll force you to choose a side in a dispute, and the struggle you have is that both sides really have their good points that you sort of feel like, well, gosh, they have a point, but then they have a point too. In this one, it's almost more the reverse. It's like both of you guys suck. It's a little bit like being asked to choose sides between Hitler and ISIS. That's a little bit extreme, but the short version is you've got you've got the elves and dwarves and everything, but they're basically, for humans, they're seen as like, oh, they're non-human, they're less than, and we don't like them. There's a lot of prejudice, but sometimes they kind of get along. But you have the Order of the Flaming Rose, who's pretty sure that all non-humans ought to just go away, and if they won't, then they'll be forced to. But then, and so like that's not cool. That's kind of awful. But then you have the Scoia'tael, which is basically the non-humans that are kind of fed up with the human prejudice, and they're saying, you know what, maybe we just ought to, we want to fight for our rights by burning down buildings with children inside and taking hostages and, yeah, they're kind of terrorists. So I ended up choosing the neutral path, but of course that just makes everybody hate you, because it's the whole "you're with us or you're against us" thing. It's people saying, oh, you've just never had anything that you believe in, you're just a merciless killing machine, you don't believe in anything, you don't love anything. But anyway, it's a nicely complex story, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I actually even have the sequel, The Witcher 2, on tap, because it was also available cheap on Steam. So I have that whole other game that I could play before buying The Witcher 3. But I actually have so many other games on my backlog list of games that I really want to finish. I still want to finish Far Cry 4. I want to finish Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I want to finish Axiom Verge. I want to finish Shadow of Mordor. There's a couple of other things I'm not thinking of, I'm sure. But in any case, lots of video games to play. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go here, and I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.